So, Rachel Reeves just doomed herself and the rest of us. Thank you very much, Rachel. And before I get into this video, I suppose, I can't blame everything on Rachel, right? But broadly, I am speaking about the Labour Party. But a few things, really, that Rachel has only really done to perpetuate the issues that we're facing rather than resolve them. For instance, removing the two-child cap. I'm struggling for words how stupid that is. And of course, some people are going to really like that. But the people having like 3, 4, 5 kids are not the English people typically. It's the foreigners. It's people coming here for those reasons. So all she's done is given more incentive to the boat people and to anybody else that like overstays student visas, etc. And then in conjunction with that, we also now have wanted to set up these, I don't know, drop-in clinics or whatever. I can't remember the exact phrasing that they're calling them anyway, but like sort of like centres to ease the burden of the NHS, ease the burden of the NHS. But again, the burden is coming from an exterior source. So trying to, like these solutions, what are meant to be solutions, essentially just sticking like a dressing over a gaping wound without sewing it shut or anything else, treating it properly, essentially. It's just further exasperating the problems, where all we're going to have now is even more migrants, even more piss takers. You know, the system, the NHS and the welfare system is already buckling at the knees. And all she's doing is adding more stress onto it. I mean, not her as such, totally. As I said, it is Labour. Labour are the ones who are refusing to really address the boats issue because they don't want to be the ones in contravention of human rights, even though everybody else seems to get to do it. But for some reason, Great Britain have to consider ourselves as moral arbiters for everybody else to follow suit with, which is a bit nuts when we're like kneecapping ourselves. You know, we have all these migrants coming here, taking advantage of the system, taking advantage of us. And there's no end in sight. Absolutely none. And I can't blame Rachel for the migrants. Obviously, that's Shabana Mahmood's forte. You know, her department. She's the head of the Home Office, the Secretary of State. So I'm getting all my words mixed up. But yeah, it is the Labour Party's fault essentially. They really need to resolve this issue with the immigration, because they're blaming it on money for people not having children, right? And while that is a little bit true, people have many babies in poor countries, so it's not money. It's not money. You know what I mean? That is not the core driver for people not having children. That is some weird excuse we have in the West, right? Because when there's countries like Nigeria still popping out 6 to 8 children on average, and like countries like the Philippines having 4 and 5 children, like it's not a money thing. Poor people have children. Essentially, this is not anything to do with the budget. Like a lot of this stuff is, the pressure from migrants taking up jobs, I suppose. You know, if you're in and out of work all the time, like I have been in the past, it's a bit hard to like fully say I can have a child. So while the money wasn't so much an issue, the sort of the likelihood of continuing to earn money is the problem. And then not only that, we have fostered a culture where women have adopted Peter Pan syndrome and don't think that they need to be productive members of society. They think they can just go on holiday relentlessly, you know, live their vapid existence, sipping margaritas, and they can just post on Instagram and Snapchat relentlessly. You know, that is what we've fostered, and that is why many men are just going elsewhere, and why there's so many women in the dating market in the West now with nobody to match up with. So some of these issues that they're talking about, like, they obviously need to be addressed, and they can be addressed by the government. But at the minute, they've done nothing to address them. Like, if people are complaining, rightly or not, that money is an issue for having one child, how is knocking the cap up to 3, well, above 2. How is that helping anybody? It's not helping anybody. It's just further creating problems with the migrants that essentially most people don't want here. You know what I mean? That's not to say that, in the UK we don't like migrants, or we don't want people to come here and earn money from other places of the world. Yes, we do, but as long as you abide by our rules, assimilate into our culture, learn our ways. If you don't like that, go back to where you came from. You don't have to be here. If I was living in France, I would have to adopt the French ways. And if I was living in Spain, I would hopefully expect myself to learn Spanish and adopt Spanish customs to some degree. You know what I mean? I couldn't just be completely Englishman. And I know people do that, and it annoys me too. So not for 1 minute am I being hypocritical, because I don't think British people should do that too. I think, these people that go to Benidorm, they should be learning some like conversational Spanish to ease interactions with the Spaniards, because it's their country. Even if Spain had a crappy empire, as you've seen in my other videos. And if you haven't, you need to subscribe. But I do apologise, because this video hasn't really been my best. I've been mixing up some of my words, forgetting the titles of some of the MPs. But I'm in the middle of editing something at the same time, and I wanted to get a quick video out about the budget. And sort of like I can't see what much difference the changes to the the gambling industry is going to achieve. I don't think that's going to affect anything. And same with like the freezing of train fares. Like what? Again, is that like now? Yeah, it's serving commuters, I suppose, but it is annoying that the train fares go up so relentlessly all the time. But again, is it mainly the rich that are benefiting from these train fare freezes, because they're the ones getting trains continually? As you can tell, I live near a train station. One just went past earlier, and I had to get a train a lot. But I can't see us like freezing those train fares for 3 years. It's going to make that much effect if you're on like minimum wage. You know what I mean? But if you're like traveling the breadth of the country all the time from like, Dunfermline, wrong example. Getting my examples really bad here. From Newcastle down to London, yeah, it'll be saving you a lot. And even though some of the rich will put that on their expenses, no doubt, it's still going to make no difference to the people at the bottom of the ladder, and at the end of the day, we are the workforce. We are the ones that fill those jobs. So if you want people to be able to be productive members of society, you need to find other solutions. And I'm not for 1 minute saying that I've got all the solutions for what would be in the correct budget, because at the minute, my solutions would be seen as authoritarian, to be honest. But an authoritarian approach is likely the one that is coming, to be honest. Like, they've stitched themselves up. Rachel Reeves will be, I think, be lucky to be in that job this time next year. I would say she'd be lucky to be in this job by April, but who knows? Quisling Keir Starmer seems to want to stand by her, even if she reshuffles everybody else. She seems to keep her job for some weird reason. But if she's still doing this job by this time next year, I would be very, very surprised, because this next 6 months now, I think, is going to show even more just how much she's harmed the economy. I'll probably make another video on this though once I've had a chance to ruminate on some of these things. My main thing was that they were sort of blaming not having children on money, but it's not the true issue. It's a load of nonsense. It's more psychological, non-socio-economic, but sociological reasons why people are not having children. And one of them is like the fragmentation of the family unit and women's perceived value in relation to what they should expect from a man, which has got completely out of control here in the West. And that is why, again, many men, such as me, would rather just go somewhere else and get a wife from another culture who is more receptive to being led, instead of fighting with a woman in this country who will then just take half your stuff. You know what I mean? I sort of glossing over it. This wasn't meant to be the most in-depth video, but by all means, if you've got any issues with what I'm saying, leave them in the comments and I'll address them in another video. But just really ranting about the budget and how, if you want to be able to help people have children, this is not how you do it. This is going to do nothing to help boost the fertility rates in the United Kingdom. There's a all she's done is seal her own fate and make things a lot worse for us, trying to resolve the issues in the country, to be quite honest with you. But see you in the next one.